So am I. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Brandon.
How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks
Let
for
me know where that comes from.
Brandon, I'm really curious. I know you mentioned that you got married last year, and I'm curious how you met your wife and that story behind that.
Wow. So I was in London, just graduated from university, and I was sharing a flat with one of my old roommates from university, and we both of us just started work, so we just moved into this new flat. And he's originally from Hong Kong, and he had the opportunity to relocate and actually set up the same team that he was working for at the time here in Hong Kong. He obviously took the chance, so he's now here in Hong Kong. He's still very good he's my best man actually in my wedding. So I needed to find a new roommate to share the rent with, and I just posted up an ad, and someone responded to that ad, and it was a girl. It was like, okay, that's cool. So it was her time to move in, and she on moving in day, she brought a friend along to help out with that, and that friend, I kind of fell in love with. It was kind of love at first sight for me, and our romance blossomed, and I decided to propose to my now wife when it was on a junk boat here in Hong Kong, which we rented out with a couple of friends. On the 29th of July 2016, and we got married on the 29th of July 2017. So yeah, that's how I ended up meeting my wife and how we ended up getting married.
Wow. I think we don't talk about that. What a cool story. And you were working at on Amped at the time?
Yes, I was.
And how did you introduce this concept to her, and how did she interact with it?
You mean when we first met, or when? Sorry,
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it in my head. No, I was working at Barclays at the time. Funnily enough, when we first met, and I started Amped as we were dating.
Okay.
How did she take it? I mean, she was always extremely supportive, and she always knew that whatever I did, I would do it to the best of my ability. So for her, throughout my entire journey as an entrepreneur, she's been entirely supportive. She's at home waiting for me right now. I've been away here just 15 minutes away from her, and it's agonizing, it's painful, but that's the kind of level of support that I have from my wife. I'm sure we will be going through much more turbulent and much rougher times in the future, but things like this, that separation, but that proximity definitely prepares us for the challenges that we will be facing in the near future.
Yeah. How have support structures helped you in your entrepreneurial journey in general?
It's been, entrepreneurship for me has been a roller coaster ride, and I'm not one for roller coasters. I'm not a I don't jump off cliffs. I don't bungee jump. So that support structure has kind of given me this bedrock of stability, which has kept me chugging along through the lowest lows, and has empowered me to continue empowered me to do even more during the highest highs. So the support structure that my wife provides, my family provides, and now that Unreasonable provides, all of you over here, has been invaluable for me, and I'm sure it's equally as invaluable for countless of other entrepreneurs out there. We were discussing over dinner that the probability of people from 12 different countries or 12 different businesses all trying to impact the world coming together here in Hong Kong for 9 days and and locking ourselves away in this lodge over here, the probability of that happening is absurdly low if it weren't for Unreasonable. So yeah. So thank you very much to Unreasonable, and thank you much for all of you for the support structure that you have.
So you don't like roller coasters
No.
or bungee jumping?
No.
Would you say you're risk averse?
I think I like to. I don't like to scare myself for the sake of scaring myself. I don't watch horror movies. I don't enjoy them. So it's just sort of me as an individual.
Yeah. So the journey of entrepreneurship is full of risk, and
Yeah.
like, walk us through how do you grapple with that?
I don't think entrepreneurship is in itself scary. I think there are definitely risks that need to be taken in your personal life, and risks that need to be made throughout the professional journey. But I don't find them scary as much as things which you need to think through and things which you need to figure out, because seeing other entrepreneurs go through similar trials and tribulations and surmounting those gives you sort of the confidence and the inspiration needed to think, if they can do it, maybe I can do it too.
Yeah. Take us back to the moment just before Amped was really real. What really propelled you to dive in?
It was, as an engineer, I grew up always thinking and always knowing that I'm intrinsically an engineer at heart, in terms of my mindset, in terms of the way I think, in terms of the way I engage with problems. And that's sort of what really drives sort of me as an individual, which is to solve problems. And the thinking that ultimately resulted in Amped materializing was, we saw a problem right in front of us, and we had sort of a half-baked solution in a very different form, in the form of an electric motorcycle. And we thought, hey, maybe what we were doing for electric motorcycles could be so much more meaningful for power security, which was a challenge in lots of, and it continues to be a challenge in lots of parts of the world.
Yeah. So you have a solution in electric motorcycles, but you see another opportunity.
Yeah.
How did you kind of make the decision to take that jump?
It really sort of boiled down to us focusing on, I think maybe some backstory is needed here for this. We started off as 3 guys living in Beijing. This was post-London for me, who loved electric scooters. And there are tons of electric scooters as the simplest and most convenient form of mobility in Beijing. And we wanted to go faster. We wanted to go further than what we could on our scooters, but we just couldn't find anything out there because for the most part these were built to a price, and we wanted something more exhilarating. So we said, let's make our own electric motorcycle, and we did that. We saw that we made this incredible electric motorcycle that had 100 kilometers an hour of top speed, so about 60 miles an hour, about 120 kilometers of range. And the biggest challenge for us was, how do we get the performance of the electric motorcycle to be where we wanted it to be, and how do we get the price down as far as we wanted it to go. And the challenge for us were the batteries. We simply, at that point in time, couldn't find a supplier for somebody who could deliver us batteries that we wanted, that were of our performance at our price point. Why would you want to supply us? There were sort of 3 guys working out of a shed in Beijing. So we started to develop our own batteries. And along the way, we realized that we're getting pretty good at this. Our batteries were out-speccing, some of the things which the suppliers were providing us, and we were doing it at a much lower cost. So it's sort of something where we said, hey, we see this problem. What we're really good at are the batteries. We're not really great at making motorcycles. We're starting to get pretty good at batteries. Why don't we start focusing in and honing in on that and sharpening our skills on that, so that we can potentially turn this into a business and solve this problem that we see right in front of us, which is power resilience in sort of developing parts of the world.
Awesome. So you've had tremendous success already, but I'm curious along the journey, what's been the most difficult thing that you've had to overcome?
That's a tough one because we've had a lot of those. I think it's seeing. I think for me, we really do try and build up a sense of family and belonging among the team at Amped Energy, and it sinks my heart whenever someone decides it's time to go and it's time to move on for a variety of reasons. But we continue, we chug along one way or another, because it's that greater sense of purpose and mission and to solve this problem, we know that there will be other people out there that can will continue to join us and contribute their skills towards solving this mission, and hopefully the person that has decided to move on finds something that means more to him, or is looking, or her, or has found something that is sort of more in line with his or her aspirations and what he or she wants to achieve out of life.
Yeah. And what, on the flip side of that, what lights you up more than anything about the work you do every day?
Problem solving. In developing a product or service that uses technology in a way that has not been used before. For example, very simple example, how do you cool the batteries down effectively? How do you prevent batteries from exploding? How do you ensure that you do all this at a very low cost point? It's how do we solve these problems and how that addresses the customer's problems that sort of excites me. Whenever I deliver a product presentation to the customer and having the customer's eyes sort of light up and say, where have you been all this while? This thing is awesome. That's sort of what really sort of continues to drive me as an individual, and it drives the company's sense of purpose and mission so much more. And it makes that sense of, that sense of purpose so much more real for us whenever you see the customer realize this is the solution to all his or her problems.
Yeah. 10 minutes is so fast.
That's incredible.
You have so much depth to you, Brendan,
Thank you
and
so
I
much.
appreciate everything you do, and you have a room full of allies behind you. So thank you so much.
All right.